Yes, welcome, ladies and gentlemen, my viewers and subscribers, to another Thursday of Mellache TV Analysis Thursdays. Yes, we have on set tonight. We have Professor himself, Mr. Floyd Wright. Welcome, Mr. Floyd Wright.
Yeah, man, welcome, Mellache, and all the viewers.
Yes, I think there is a 2-second delay. So please see with us with the delay. All right. Playmaster is engaged in another commitment, so he will be joining us later on, and C4 is also will be joining us later on. Yes. A very exciting week of Domino. Yes. A lot of persons, I don't think anyone guessed the top 8 winners for last week. Nobody get the top 8 winners. Nobody get Professor because you got 7 out of 8. Yes, that's a good prediction, Professor. Good prediction. All right. Later on in the program, we're supposed to be having Sanique on the program to explain the rules and about her Sanson cross the table domino league. Yes. Professor, the first match.
Yes, man.
Yes, the first match on the list is Fort International versus Village Links. Fort International 250, Village Links 226. Yes, what is your thought on that?
Uh, well, I did predict it uh, Ford to carry this one home. The margin of victory was was what I expected. Village Link, I don't know what the halftime scores were, but Ford uh, did what they are supposed to do in this encounter. I don't believe I believe in predicting this game that they shouldn't have much trouble based on the type of team they are playing and coming off a loss in their last encounter. Um, a game that Ford expected to win. Village Link did themselves justice by not being defeated by a very huge margin. In this Portmore League, probably you can correct me here, Mellache. If there's an
Yes.
aggregate score? How important is that? But this victory by Fort is a good victory for them going into the next encounter. But I believe that I believe they did themselves some justice in this one.
Okay. Yes. I think
That's things that I thought.
aggregate.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes, I think they're using aggregate score in the Portmore League because that's how they differentiate persons who are on the same score. Because I think Right Stuff now is on 28 points
Yes.
and Links is at 28 points, and they put Right Stuff ahead of Links. So I think that is the aggregate score that's differentiate their position. Yes.
And if you can look
All
at it
right.
too, it's based on head to head also because it's based on head to head because you realize that Rise of did beat Lynx. So based on head to head, they
Okay.
would have been in front also.
Yeah, but yes, I
And with
think I
this
think
margin
head to
of
head supposed to
victory,
be
yeah.
I think head to head supposed to be the first um first tiebreaker, I think.
Yes, yes,
It's supposed to be the first tiebreaker. Yes, and then they will move to the aggregate score.
yes. Yeah, go ahead.
Yes. All right. Passage Fort versus Source. Passage Fort 250. Source 247. A very excited, close and excited match. What do you have to say about that? And what went wrong there?
Um, there's nothing wrong with particular in this game. We did suggest that this game will probably be the closest, and as we see, it probably was. I'm just looking at trying to get the score between um Foundation. Yes, it was as we predicted will be the closest encounter in terms of margin of win. We did I did predict, and along with a lot of persons, carrying Source up to win this game based on their previous record against Passage Fort. Now with predicting a close margin of victory, it meant that one of these teams had a capable of chance of winning. But for us as analysts, we didn't want to sit on the edge. We just wanted to definitely take us a particular team to win this encounter. We did predict it Source up to came out victors. But that was not the case. Very, very good victory for Passage Fort getting two successive wins. And on the other hand, um, Source up getting two successive points in two encounters. So it's a boost for either team based on what is happening. Two victories, two close losses for Source up, but very good victory Passage Fort going into the next encounter. When we come across the preview of those games, we will analyze the team that they're going up and their chances going forward for a top 8 position.
Okay. All right, my viewers, don't get me wrong, when I said what went wrong there, with Passage Fort and Source, because with this encounter, with this matchup, I think Source was supposed to be the favorite. Statistically, Source supposed to be the favorite in this league, right? So that's why I
Yes.
said what really went wrong. So my viewers don't really interpret it wrongly. Yes. And Ruel Taylor, yes,
No,
Barry,
no,
big up yourself, Ruel Taylor. And Danny Tiberet,
the
greetings,
scores.
Danny Tiberet.
Yeah,
Yes, Professor, go ahead.
the 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 score line at the half was Passage Fort leading by 12, and then it went up to they doubled that to 24, and that um was was a ding dong affair in the final 100 games, and then it was that close that Passage Fort was leading within in single digits in the last 40 games. So was overall that total, and that was one stage we were leading by 5 with about 15 games to go, and then got probably about 10 games straight. So that enabled the opposition going into the final furlong. So it was somewhat of a close affair. Left down to the players. Captaincy, in a sense, cannot be such of a blame unless you tend to make a lot of changes in the final third, 30 or 25 games. If you're making 3 or more changes in that period, obviously your captaincy is not astute based on the game, because if you're not losing more than 5, obviously you don't need to make a lot of changes. So if you tend to do that, because persons coming into the game at that stage, we should have a momentum and so forth. So either team, and this is generally speaking, not unique to the Source Up game, but if you have tend to make a lot of changes there about when the game is not far fetch for you in terms of the lead. You're definitely not astute in terms of the skippering and so forth. But it's a good game on both teams, and I must, as a source of representative, I should give kudos to Patrick Fort in this victory.
Yes, a very excited game. I think this match was one of the most excited match on Sunday. Yes, and congratulations to Passage Fort. I think maybe Passage Fort they need it more than Soursop. Uh, Professor, I think Passage Fort they really need it more than Soursop,
Yes,
you know.
and I would say that. And as you said, based on what both teams were coming into this game, I think there was a hunger on both sides, and it's just
Yes,
unfortunate if either team lost this encounter, because we did predict it, that is going to be the closest game of all, and it actually turned out that way.
yes, a very exciting match. But question though, did this game went down to countdown because losing by three?
No, I wasn't, and surprisingly, it might be in that range, but I think somebody even referred to it. I was not inside of the arena at the time, but based on a few comments, I believe that the game should have been in that stage. So I'm just going to probably I never did any final what should I say, assessment or see if that was the case. But I think it should have, because in the latter part of the game, I think by looking at it, I think a lot of peers were in the ring when there were like two or so games left to go. I think at least all tables were in the ring when about two games. I believe that when two games were left, I think the referee stopped one table. So when passage four when Soursop needed four passage um, passage four needed two, and there were at least five tables. So there's some unevenness there based on the fact I think there should have been two tables less. I think there should be another table, shouldn't be playing. So I think Soursop had too many teams in the ring at that time.
Okay,
Too many player too much table engineering at that time. So I think it's a little error on the part of the officiating there.
okay, but what about the captains? Because the captain's supposed to know about this. Because I think when Iko came on the
Sometimes
program, he did mention when Iko came on the program, he did mention countdown start from 244, 246. Yeah, that's where the countdown starts from. 244,
yes,
246.
and as I said, but the captain cannot be blamed and in this situation, because sometimes they are looking for their own interest in terms of captaining the teams and looking what the best strategy they can come out with to come out victors. So the officiating should be paramount on the part of the referee, and the captains probably by the oversight. A few of them might um, see it as as an advantage. It depends from where you're looking at it. You know, some might be some captain believe that the more they have in the play tables they have in the ring, the better chance they do have, and vice versa. So it just doesn't come down to the captain. I think the referee needs to get the calls right when it come on to officiating games, and it couldn't left down to any particular teams. It would be just on a part of sportsmanship for both captains to get together and see there's a blunder. But usually captains are looking for a edge in getting home with a victory. So they will, if they see the blunder, they will try to seize that opportunity to do so.
Okay, but we have in this league we have so many scenarios in regards of this um countdown rule, right? I think by this the captain's supposed to get it right now, and the referee is supposed to be more educated about it and stuff like that. Because this I think the countdown is supposed to be in
As I
the in
said,
the mhm. Go ahead.
as I said before, it doesn't come down to the skipper or the skipper in this case. The skippers in this case, the officiating has to has to be right, and par is what and par is what goes on in the game. It can't left down to the captains. The officials are the one in charge of the game, and their decision is usually the final. So if they can't get it right, obviously the administration of the league is in question.
Okay. All right. Otis Drummond, Scatter himself. Yeah, man. Big up yourself, Scatter. Fruity Johnson. Big up yourself, Fruity Johnson. Saniq said still no luck. Yes. I don't know Saniq. Saniq's supposed to be on air with us tonight. So I don't know what to say, Saniq. I think maybe you have to try a different phone or different PC or something. Try to log
We
in
have enough.
with a different device. Yes, maybe you will
We have
get
enough time,
have
Mellache, I think, to get it right. So, I another.
yes, Bobby Six. Big up yourself, Bobby Six. Yeah, man. You have big match coming up. Yes, the reigning youngster right now, Bobby Six himself, and Lincoln Watson. Big up yourself, Western Kingston. Big up yourself. And my viewers, please to remember to click like on the video, and remember that tomorrow is Mellache TV cookout. Yes, I like everyone um, to lend their support to my cookout tomorrow, and I will be keeping a domino match tomorrow also, starting at 7, Passage Fourth and Bombers versus the rest of the world. Um, we have on stage with us now Playmaster himself. Welcome, Mr. Playmaster.
Yeah, man. Big up everybody, man. Manners and respect.
Yes, Sonic was supposed to be on, but she's not having any luck at all with her device. So I don't know. You have any idea? Have anything? Can tell her what to try? She's not having any luck
Well, me not so
to
adverse
get
to the
on
internet
success.
thing. So if you have a problem, I'm not sure.
No, it is. She said the problem that she's having is she's saying
Or
her mic system and camera system, and she click allow, but it's still not allowing her.
Oh, well, I guess I have to go visit her tomorrow. I will try and start it out for
Yes,
next week.
yes, but she's still trying anyway. She's still trying.
Okay.
All right. Moving on to the next match. Cherry Garden 250, Central 230. What you have to say, Professor?
no surprises for me. Um, as I said, Cherry Gardens is quite a very competent team with the influx of Western influence. I expected them to come out victors. Central bid by the margin of victory 20 wasn't that bad, but I expect them to even cut a point out of this game. I just because I said in my preview that they had a week to rest, So they should have put in some practice. So with that practice, they should have even half that deficit, even make it at 10. But at least I think it's quite what should I say? It's quite commendable that they did still put out a performance that is not. I wouldn't regard it as a blowout as such. But no surprises in Cherry Garden taking this game.
Okay, but to me, I think Central did very good against Cherry Garden. Came in out with 230, 250, 230. I think that's a very balanced score for Cherry Garden and Central. What you have to say about that, Playmaster?
Well, I wouldn't say that the result is a surprise to me, but I had Central for the victory. Being as though they were coming off a rest, they were at home and they played very well at home. So I really thought they would have came out with a close victory, but in the end, Cherry Garden went ahead and stamped the class that they got from the West and came out with a very comfortable victory. So all in all, it wasn't really a surprise, but I'm disappointed that Central didn't win.
Okay. All right. Brighton 250, Nagazet 235. What happened there, Playmaster? What you have to say about that? Brighton 250, Nagazet 235.
Well, I wasn't at the match, so I'm not sure as regards to the closeness, because 15, a Nagoya team that hasn't been playing good to be 15 points loser to Burton is commendable because Nagoya is a good little team, but they weren't playing good all season. And Burton is a defending champion, playing very well. So to lose by only 15, it could be a case that Nagoya played really well, or Burton took their foot off the gas. But all in all, expected Burton to win and they did win. But the margin of victory is a bit underwhelming to say the least.
Okay. Professor, did all Brighton's players were they there at the match? A World Boss, a Western Kingston,
As
a
I said, I
Future
wasn't
Kid.
I wasn't there, so I don't know who
I
wasn't
wouldn't
there.
say, as you
Okay.
mentioned, those.
You know,
i-
so it's hard to say.
Okay, Professor.
All right, as you mentioned, you mentioned a couple names, Mellache, and I think two of those players are currently online. So probably they will have given you an update in regards to how the players who really turned out um, um, in that encounter, and unlike in the previous encounter they had where they had not so much of their quality. However, this game I did carry um, Britain to win, and I expected. There's no surprise in the score line. The only thing I said in this encounter, I said it was going to be close affair. The only thing surprise Nagod can spring is getting a point, and they were just 5 short of doing that. So it was a game expected. That scoreline is no surprise. I just by assessing the game that they would have did fairly well. And a 15 point is based on is a reflection of how Nagwed is playing for the season. And they will come chumps against other teams and probably spring even a surprise that they shouldn't have. But definitely good going for on the part of Nagwed defending against the defending champions who are just playing the according to the playing the personnel based on the teams they are playing. So a good victory
Okay.
for Brighton. Competent match on the part of Nagoya.
Okay. But I've known that Brighton, they weren't at full strength, because I know that you have Earl and Crumbs overseas, although Ben 10 was there. And I heard other persons that they just weren't at their full strength. You understand? So maybe to look at it like what Playmaster said, they take your foot a little off the gas. You understand? That's why maybe it looks so competitive. Just saying anyway. All right, Professor. Classic 250, mechanical 213. Professor.
No surprises, and that is what I did expect them to lose by, that scoreline. It's just so unfortunate for Mechanical, who are vying for a position in the quarterfinal stage. I just don't see them getting there. I said in 2 matches ago when they were about to play Passage Ford, they should have won that encounter. That is an encounter based on if they want to be contenders for a top 8 placing. They should have taken that game by the scruff of the neck. They didn't lose against a team that they based on the performances for the season, they should have won and then come up against the the pacemakers for this competition, and they did they expected margin of victory is what I expected based on the quality team they have this season. And I did say when there was a question asked last week if this match should be a feature match. I said yes if it was the same a similar team that they had last year in terms of the players, because they lost about 4 or 5 quality players. So it's no surprise in the margin of victory they lost by, and I just have to wait and see in Sunday's game who they are playing, and that's mechanical. As we go forward, I can't say enough about Classic. It's like being repetitive. You know, Classic are the team to beat, and they will go on as they will do so in the next encounter. I don't know which team they are matching up against. So when we're looking at that, the preview, we will see. But Classic again, great victory, and just keep on doing what they do best.
Okay, Playmaster. Classic 250, mechanical 213.
Well, a victory for a classic and a combined victory is never a surprise because if we're going to be fair, there's not a lot of teams that match up well with a classic. Probably only a Britain or a Lynx can really challenge them. And probably a right stuff as how things are at the moment. So a 37-point victory is not much to write home about. Because this team is far superior to the mechanical team. So commanding victory in the end and expected right through.
Okay. All right. Bull Bay 250, Memory Lane 197. What you have to say about that victory, Playmaster?
Well, I expected Memory Lane to get a bit closer, but their opponent were in a no-nonsense mood and basically took them to the cleaners. So it was an expected defeat for Memory Lane. Probably the score line, we expected it to be a bit closer, maybe a 40 or a 35-point defeat, but 50 plus, it says that the opponent was in a no-nonsense mood. So all in all, Memory Lane need to go back to the drawing board and try to improve this coming Sunday.
Okay, Professor. Bull Bay 250, Memory Lane 197.
Expected just not probably that amount, but I just know that they would have gotten a blown out. I did say they will be fairly competitive in the initial stages, and I believe they did that. Just even this quarter half time, I think it was about 23 at the halftime lead, and that is fairly well based on a Bull Bay team. Probably normally, even though we're leading in the 30s, that would I expect. But being the deficit there was half of what they eventually got. But no surprise in terms of the victory. It just a commanding victory for Bull Bay, and they're trying to make a statement in when getting the teams that are the games that they should have they are to win. They are doing that, and in a commanding way also. So no surprise at the margin of victory. Bull Bay are just trying to get think the job done and moving on to the other games.
Okay, great. All right. Garvey Mead lose another game again. Masterpiece 250. Blow Garvey Mead. And also Right Stuff. Didn't have any contender. Correctional couldn't find a team on Sunday.
Yeah,
So Right Stuff.
yeah, yes, Mellache, and this is something I have to address because it seems like I probably almost predicted this one. I remember I said in a particular game that correctional, as much as they are there in almost every competition, there's a I just pick up a synergy that they will probably get deflated. And it seems like the case. I was encouraging them to finish their games, and it's unfortunate that I see they didn't could feel a team to start against Right Stuff. So I just implore them to in the best interest of the sport to come out on
To
Sunday.
finish off.
Yeah, so persons spectators can be able to see a game of dominoes and so forth. So it's unfortunate again for correctional to 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 play a game on Sunday.
Okay. All right. Going down to the feature match now. Links 250, Foundation 246. And in this match, I think Foundation lead go all the way up until about 240. And then Links just took it to them. Because I think when Foundation were at 225, they were leading by 11. When Foundation were at 225, they were leading by 11. And Links showed their class and they took it home. So Links 250, Foundation 246. Playmaster, you were at the match. What is your assessment, Playmaster? All right. I don't know. Playmaster. He did say that his phone needed charging. So I don't know what happened, but Professor, oh, he's back. All right, Playmaster, you were at the match with Links 250 Foundation 246. What is your assessment?
Give us a second, Mellache.
Okay. All right, Professor, give us your analogy on the match.
Mellache, this is one of the yeah man, this is one of the games that I expected to to be very close, and no surprises there. I did carry Links to win, and as I said, it would be a very good time to catch Foundation to catch Links after coming off a loss, a bit wounded coming to this encounter. But I said Links don't usually lose two matches, two consecutive games on the trot, and I think they dig deep in improving yours truly, right. To win a game like this is is humongous for them, to boost the morals going forward, because even there was a 10 love in this encounter by Links, and even at that stage when that 10 of was dropped, the foundation were still leading. Albeit it's in single digits, but a lead nevertheless. Very good. The um contest by fight by foundation, but Lynx showed their true worth as one of the top contenders in the island, as usual, and it can't says it says a lot about this game. And you were there videoing, so you can give us an analysis. And Playmaster was there. I think we get a lot of flack from players from foundation, even when they were leading, and saying that as analysts we were carrying them nowhere. We're carrying them at way down the not even the top 10. And I think that we were a bit vindicated based on the fact that at the end of the match, Lynx did came out winners. So we're vindicated a bit there. But I don't believe any of us here did carry foundation to be 13th unless we didn't have the lined up for a foundation team prior to the start of the game, because we didn't know who were going to be there. And then this probably in the second game we realized that the quality that they have now were present. So, but very good encounter, and cool. And I must say a big up to foundation for this, for giving us a good contest in the name of in the name of Domino.
Okay, I did mention that foundation is not a walkover though, because
Yes, man.
I experience the team and I know the caliber persons who are there. Understand? So I know that foundation is not a walkover. But I'm happy you weren't there though, Professor, because you have some persons saying that you're washing your mouth on them and their team.
No, Mellache, let me tell you, I'm going to be. There are a few contests that I do call based on sentiments. But if I'm going to be honest, I am just calling based on what I've seen so far this season in terms of analyzing teams. I haven't seen all teams and as yet. So I'm just basically calling what I think as an analyst would do. And for most parts, if I don't want to sit on the fence. If I'm going to call a game, I don't want to have to sit on the fence. I definitely have to give it a call. I don't want to be on the to be right at all times. I don't want to be say, yeah, man, and they will win there, and something they will do with, and if they win, I, I just have to call it like how I see it, and that is it. I'm just not bringing down any team. I'm just calling as I see it. It's just simple that. So I expect flags coming from any team in this competition, and sometimes I'm so get caught up because I probably I just need to sit back and look and be an analyst, because by the time when you're involved with a particular team, you kind of get a little bit biased, but and so forth. But I don't I come with with the criticism along with this constructive and so forth. I have no problem.
Yes, my viewers and subscribers. Just remember that my analysts, um, they are predicting and analyzing the matches. So there's no emotions or sentiments to what they are saying. They are speaking of experience and stats. So do not blame my analysts for predicting your team as a loser or winner. Please, no sentiments or emotions to their predictions. Yes, Playmaster. Um,
Yeah, man,
Links,
respect.
Foundation 246.
You know, this result, the outcome was expected, but the score line, I don't think even Foundation expected this closeness. Even though they were leading, but they must have felt that at some point Lynx quality would have shown. And I was there. I went to the match just to look at a few games and end up watching all the game just to show you how interesting the game was. You know, just to show you how interesting the game was. Um, and I was saying Lynx is gonna take control, and at no point Lynx took control in this match. They struggled badly throughout. One of the time they seemed void of ideas. Jerry was getting all the changes, pinning players left, right, and center. Even one at the time, Wingy came under immense pressure, and Mr. James said, "Take a break." When they checked the score, it was only on four. It was only 4 games played. And that showed how disjointed Links were based on the pressure. That Foundation put on them. At one point, Foundation went by 21. And it was a jubilant mood in Red Pond. Everyone was excited. The cheerleaders were cheering. Mr. Foley was in devastating form, along with Blue. And it's ironic, because until Barry G went and took Foley out with a 9 love, Foley was unbeatable. And Foundation was on top. And the man, his partner in crime on the day was Blue. Blue paid about 7 pairs and lost to none until he got that 10 love. And the 10 love took him out of the game, and he and Foley were the driving force behind Foundation on the day. It was a team effort, but those were the outstanding players for Lynx, for Foundation. And Lynx really had to dig deep. A man like Winky that lost about 3 10s came back in there and dropped a 10 love, and it really brought Lynx close, because when he dropped the 10 love, Lynx were still trailing. But they held their nerves and they pull it off. But I must commend Foundation, because I never foresee this performance, because I have been saying I think they have the team that will make the top 8, but I think they are short. One solid pair, and it proved on Sunday, because Laza, you know, I blame him for the defeat, because he played the entire match, or majority of the match, and he only beat 1 pair. If you have a player playing a close match and is unable to win consistently, or to be leading by at least 5, then you're gonna lose. So to lose by 4 and one player is about -7 or 8, that can be looked at as the player that might have cost you the game. And if you had another quality player, you could have replaced him. But all in all, Foundation has the quality. They will make top 8, so they can stop, being upset with the analysts. They will make top 8, and they will have quality come in the form of Assassin, Cooley, and company. So any team that faces this team in the box in the quarterfinal should be very worried.
Okay. All right. I've realized that this game went to countdown. It was 2:45, 2:46, and it went to countdown. But Playmaster, tell me something, and please explain to our viewers. At which point is it sudden death? At which point are
According
the
to the
two?
rule, one. All right, so Sunday isn't like a regular countdown. Sunday is just that you played on the tables until you have a victory. So in the event that a team is leading by less than 6, you know, no, it's like less than 4 and want less than that to win, then it's sudden death. Because if you're leading by 2 and you want 4 to win, then all the tables you play 1 game, and so you win, so you come out. So if there's 6 games remaining to decide a victor, so 46, 48, 44, 46, anywhere down that line is sudden death. Once you're leading by less than 4, then it's
So
sudden death.
so so the
But
match between okay,
what the
continue.
referees are looking at is the starting point of the sudden death, which is 242, 244. But that is consistent throughout. So once you pass 244 and you're still leading by less than 4, it still is a countdown. So you should apply the rule just the same, but they are only looking at the start point, which is 242, 244.
Okay. So what happened on Sunday then? Was that sudden death or countdown?
It's sudden death,
245,
man.
246.
It's sudden death.
Oh,
There's
that was
no
sudden
countdown. Yeah, because one team wanted 4 and one wanted 5.
There's no countdown. Sunday.
Okay. Okay, because I realized the referee started to
Yeah, man.
send
Send out
tables
1-1. Yeah, man. 1-1, and
1-1
then
table.
yeah.
Oh, so that was sudden death. So first I'm mixing it up with the countdown then.
Yes.
So there's
But
there's
countdown
no
is
more
no more.
countdown.
There's no more countdown. Sudden
Okay.
death, and sudden death makes it more exciting because look at it this way: you hold a big team and you beat them, and you bring it to countdown, and the player them will have the momentum for you is in the ring, beating up those guys, and it reaches to countdown, and they get a chance to reset and put in their big guns and have an advantage. I think that was always unfair, and the players that are playing good, should continue to play. And even in most cases, you have teams playing, they go to countdown, and the players that are playing well on the day, either they are not setting countdown or they are forced to play with another player, saying they are making iron pierce for countdown, or they have countdown side. And a lot of players' morals are broken because to see you carry your team from the depths of defeat and get a countdown, and you can't get a chance to showcase your talent in a countdown to win the match for your team, it all breaks momentum. Look at the final the other day. One game it came down to, and Bobo showed his class. You know how proud Bobo feel.
Yeah.
That moment will resonate in his life for the rest of his career. That is one of the biggest moments for any player to be the winner of a final. You win the final game, and the team win by 1.
All right. Yes, Everett, big up yourself. Everett is saying that the match between Passage Fort and Soursop, 249, 247, and all 5 tables still playing.
No, that is
Who's to
that
be
is
blamed?
incorrect.
Who's to be
The
blamed
referee,
there?
definitely the referee, because one team wanted 3 to win and one wanted 1. So in all, the game would finish on 3 tables. So at that time, you should only have 3 tables, because if one team won all 3 games, they would win, and if the other team that won 1 point, 1-1, the game will be over. So when it reached that point, only 3 tables should be playing. And we've been speaking about this from ever since. These referees are incompetent, they are incapable of following the rules, or it's just that they don't care. Because even if you don't know something, it is happening over and over. And if someone says to you, check the rule, consult the rule. If it happens this week, it should never happen next week and the other week and the other week. This is your
Yes,
job.
but Playmaster. I think when Aiko was on, when we were interviewing Aiko,
And
he
one
was
of the
on,
things that
I think you can hold on, Professor. I think you can blame the captains too, because I think Aiko did said at that point, if the referee don't want to stop the match, the captains can stop the match and say they're not playing anymore.
Yeah, but
I
I
think he
I
did
I
mention
am not
that.
I am not in for that. And the reason why I don't want the game to go into dispute, because both captain will not agree on that. So if one captain stops the match,
yeah.
the other captain will, we don't want the game go there. So we rather the referee do their due diligence and apply the rules accordingly.
Okay, because Everett said he was telling her and she said
And I
countdown pass already. Yes, that's
no
what Everett said, Professor.
one of the situation I said to before, and I was saying before, Mellache and Playmaster now come say it. It cannot be left down to the captains. That's not what, because if there's an advantage for me as a captain going into a game, I should have 4 tables instead of 5. I'm just going to work with it. One of the things that the control rule, this Sunday control rule goes for, is that if it comes down to the last game or the last 2 games, nobody can hold a table. You could have hold a table to
Yeah,
another
but
man. If you lose, you're going to lose. If the
yeah,
game's
but
supposed
it
to be
is
decided,
advantageous
and the
to
man,
the winners though. The person who is
no, there's
winning,
no
team is
advantage.
winning. It is
No,
advantageous.
no. Mellache, in the Sunday, no advantage to go to nobody. in the Sunday, if it apply according to how it should apply, nobody can get no advantage. So a man can't think say more play if 2 man out play and feel say them hold a game. Then can't hold no game because the way the Sunday should apply, there's no advantage to no team. That's why I like the place also or the Sunday is being structured. There's no advantage to no team, when they come on the Sunday, No advantage whatsoever when touch Sunday. So if there are 2 teams and there there's and going for 1 point, you're going to be 1 table in the ring, not 2. So that 2 1 of 2 and 1. So the advantage with the Sunday goes to no team. So the Sunday is the best rule. But as we say, it cannot be left down to the captain, as Temas said, because it's going to left the game in disrepute. Because players, captains are going for the advantage, and if there's an error on the part of the officials, they are going to seize that moment. So it cannot be left down to the skippers. Not no way at all. If the official is not competent, take him out of the competition. And every consistently happens. It's a indictment on the administration of the league, any league as a matter of fact. So don't come down to don't blame into no captain. Captain, if the referee can get it right, then don't need to officiate in games. Simple like that. Because they are the main adjudicators of the contest. Because the referee decision is final unless there's an appeal and the board make an overturn in whatever form.
Okay. All right. Thanks for that, Professor. All right. My viewers, please remember to click like on the video, and also please remember my cookout tomorrow, and I will be having a match also starting at 7. Passage 4th and Bombers versus the rest of the world. So I'm looking out for your support and show your appreciation to the Domino channel. All right, moving on to the predictions of the match. The match is on Sunday. Playmaster, Chair Garden versus Garvin Mead. I was just going to ask about everybody know the outcome of that match. All right, Correctional versus Brayton. I hope the Correctional team players turn up for this match. Correctional versus Brayton Playmaster.
Hold on a minute. Repeat the question, please.
The match on Sunday, Correctional versus Brayton. I know Correctional didn't turn up on Sunday versus Right Stuff, so I hope they turn up this Sunday to put the league and the game in good spirit, end it in good spirit. So Correctional versus Brayton.
Well, naturally Burton for the win. Without going too deep, Correctional hasn't shown much quality so far this season, and Burton.
All right, not even Playmaster there. Don't know what happened. Professor, Correctional versus Brayton.
This fixture last year was one of the upset of the league. Correctional did beat Brayton, which was quite a very huge surprise. However, this year is a bit different. The last encounter Correctional did play, they failed to honor their fixture based on the fact that they didn't have enough players to constitute a game. So going up against the defending champions, I think Brayton will have that in the back of their mind, what happened last year, and try to have a quality team on spot when the game starts, so they don't have to find themselves in a position that they did last year. So it's a no-brainer for this one. Brayton will definitely take it. I don't know what the position with Correctional in this encounter coming up Sunday. But I wish they would honor their fixture because it's a home fixture also. So it will be good for them. And they have scored a surprise victory so far in this year's competition. So let's see if they can do so again and probably even did what they did last year. Just to spice up the competition, as a matter of fact. But definitely, if the game is on, Brighton will definitely take this one home.
Okay. All right. Big up yourself, Curtis Suarez. Curtis is confirming what you said. Correctional beat Brighton last year. So Brighton, you said Brighton might have it at the back of their head, but I know Correctional will have it at their forefront. So by between Brighton last year, I think maybe they will come out in their full numbers, saying that they can do it again, Professor. So maybe they'll
Yes,
come out
man.
there with their full numbers on Sunday.
Yes, I hope so.
All right. All right. Thanks for that, Curtis. All right. Memory Lane versus Fort International. Playmaster, you're back.
Yeah, man, I didn't go anywhere.
Okay. Memory Lane versus Fort International.
Straightforward again. Memory Lane might fling a surprise here or there, but I don't see it this week. Fort got a well-needed victory and loss. They are out of the top 8 as of now, and I know they really want to get themselves back up there and work up closer to the top of the table. So they should be going in for a commanding victory this Sunday.
Okay. Professor, Memory Lane versus Fort International. What is the margin of victory you're professing? Professor?
Yes, the memory lane is doing themselves a little justice in the league. They're being competitive. This for Fort is this is the Fort is have played some of the top teams so far. So now they are having things a bit easier. And I think this is one of the games they are expected to win. And with trying to one of the things that Fort has to do going forward is try to get the chemistry so they are able to be of some quality when it matters most in the home stretch. And they couldn't ask for two teams that have won last week and now this week again to have a dress rehearsal going into the last 8 and to be competitive. They are just 2 points ahead of Memory Lane as we speak, but I expect them to somewhat probably drop in the inside the top 10. As we speak, they are after I think Fort are currently inside the top 10. But no, this will solidify their place further down the tables, about 6 or so forth. So they are looking for this victory, and they have the quality to be there when it matters most. I don't see them dropping out the type of team they have to drop out at this quarterfinal stage.
Okay. Yes, I think Fort International is in ninth place.
Yes.
Yes. And Everett, nobody predict get all 8 winners for last week. So there is no winner for the prediction for last week. Top 8 winners. So let's see if you can get it right. So for 2 weeks, there is no winner because Passage Fort keep on. You get 7. Everett same gets 7 correct. Yes. So it seems like you guys have to start better on Passage Fort now because it's the 2 weeks now. You guys better against Passage Fort. Passage Fort came out victor. Yes, so Passage 4 keep on bursting you guys bet. So maybe you have to go bet on Passage 4 this time around. All right, moving on. Um, Links United versus Masterpiece. Play Master.
Yeah, well, Lynx should go home with this victory comfortably. The scare they got last week should shake them up, to lose 1 week and to come so close to defeat another week. If this isn't a wake up call, then they will never wake. So I believe we will see the real Lynx this Sunday in no uncertain manner. So a commanding victory is expected from this Lynx United team.
Okay. Masterpiece, you are upset now, What to say, Professor?
Masterpiece. They would, but I don't know if it's against Lynx. I
So
think one of the best
not this
chances they
match.
had to make an upset. Yeah, I think the best chances to make an upset has really gone, and it was against Fort. So I don't see them um, beating other teams in the top 10 going forward. They will have to look on the teams that are below them or just on par. They've this I don't see them. I don't know if they will get a point in this encounter, but I expect them to put up some fight somewhere about. Probably when in the first 100, they will probably put up something masterful. But going in the after 100 games or so, I think it will definitely be a blowout for Lynx. So no, I don't see them. And Lynx are trying now to ensure which Justin for the position that they want to be in this competition, because that is going to be important going forward. The placings in the final 8, and so Lynx will now go ahead and see if they can 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 find themselves in a position where they have a team that they can move forward to the semi-final stage. But they were definitely in the top 8, so they're just trying to find which position they will end up. So they will not take it in the prisoners here, and Masterpiece is 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 just bad luck for them going forward. I don't see them winning this game.
Okay. All right. Young Bobby 6. Hope you're listening. Yes, let's see if we can set a record on in this match. Young promising Bobby 6 playing some good games, Professor. From Links.
Yes, man.
Young Bobby 6.
Yeah, man. It's a good look. I am so that I am encouraged by those performances. To be a player to drop in a quality team, a young player, it's good because it argues well for the sport. When I was even at Radication and drop into a quality team and proving it's going to be difficult, as you say, because even as if you are playing good, people are just going for their trust in lieutenants. And I kind of like how Mr. James and Etal is doing for them in terms of their confidence and giving them enough playing time. So it's a good look, and I encourage. I wish other captains would encourage young upcoming players as much playing time just to boost their confidence, because the more you play, I don't believe you can get any worse.
Yes, the promising young Bobby 6 performing in every game. What you have to say about his performance, Playmaster, especially in a team like Lynx, Mr. James, really working on him, getting a lot of games.
You know, these guys, for some reason, I admired them. When I saw them playing for Soursop, they have the vibes that Domino needs. When they win, they do some outrageous dance and they say some stuff and they really lift a team. And I was very disappointed when Soursop reached the business end of the season and their playing time was cut almost to none, you know. I was really disappointed, you know, because I am saying this is something, this is the moment these guys were playing for all season. And they did get a chance to shine on the big stage. And when I saw them for links, I was saying, okay, you know, the narrative has always been that links doesn't like young players. So let's see. But you know, they play every game, and for most part they are outstanding in most games. You know, even this Sunday, you know, Foundation went after them, saying they're gonna pin them, you know. And in the end, you know, they beat two of the better players from Foundation. You know, they beat Cow 2 times, I think, and they put Laz out of his misery. You know, so they must be commended because they are fearless. Both of them read the game very well. They do have some weakness, but they are young to the game, and I believe in a couple of years' time they will be up there, close to the likes of Illusions and the World Bosses. So they are the future for Domino. So I want to commend them to keep up the good work, you know, and stay focused.
Okay. Yes. One Links United. Bobby Six. Pick up yourself, Bobby Six. All right. Moving on. Central versus Right Stuff. Professor, what is your prediction here?
Rise stuff for me probably they'll be much rusty. Um, but they did get in some practice because even when the correctional couldn't feel a team, they did a little practice session together to get things, you know, warm up and thing for this encounter against Central. Um, they I expect them to win this game. Central might put up a good fight. Didn't get a point. I must, but I just see Rice of continue their 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 merry way so far with their performance. And this Sunday, I don't expect any change in their search towards um top eight placing and him to cap this tiger. The one thing I can say, they might not match some of the teams in the currently in the top 10 pound for pound, but they do have that quality to put together if it's cohesive to even come to win this to take this trophy. There's just um they're in a no nonsense mood as we speak, and I think that is enough to show a true champion world. Rise up for this victory.
Okay. All right. Playmaster. Central versus Right Stuff.
Well, you know, I can't be biased in this one because my two teams is, you know, so we have to just be factual. Pound for pound, Right Stuff, on paper the better team. You know, Central is fighting for the little slim hope that they still harbor of making their first top eight. I think they lost few games that they should have won. That would have made it a bit more comfortable for them, and that puts a lot of pressure on the team. The team is a small unit, and if all are not clicking on the day, you know, it's gonna be very difficult for them. But Right Stuff has found the formula, you know, since the man himself, Hulk, has resumed the boot duties. They have turned back all challengers, and I believe Sunday will be no different. However, I want to be inclined to believe that Central will dig deep and come away with a point from this encounter.
Okay. Yes, my team. You heard it from my analyst. Um, Central. So Pusey. Hope you take Eden of Pusey. Yes. Moving on. Yes, Velma Michelle. Hi. Hi, Velma. Looking beautiful tonight. Who is that?
Yeah,
Engelbert
man, that a
Campbell.
Tyan himself, man. Legendary player himself, Tyan from the Links
Oh, big up
United.
Tyan. Big up Tyan. Big up Tyan from
Oh,
Links.
yes,
Yeah, man. All right, moving on. Bull Bay versus Soursop. Professor, Bull Bay versus Soursop. What is your prediction here?
Well, Bull Bay is doing themselves justice so far. I don't believe they haven't they lose against Lynx in a competitive encounter, but I think they have won. Um, they probably Brayton game is not a game that probably they would have expected to win. They still have the quality to win that game, and they did. But they are doing themselves justice by winning the games that they should have win. And Sunday coming, I think it will be no different for them. They are thinking that this is a game that they should have all 4 points, and they will be doing just that. Um, so a sub though against Bull Bay is usually on paper, usually something that is competitive, and so a sub always fancy their chances. Not the same um, quality they have in the past in playing those encounters, but still there's some level of respect be given to the name Soursop, and they still have that quality to a little quality there to spring a surprise. But Bull Bay should take this encounter um, because they think so too, and I expect in a sense as much as I'm a Soursop player, Bull Bay to bag this one. But as I'm going to always be biased that we Soursop do still have a chance to create an upset based on what is going on for this season. Normally this season with if Soursop have that quality, it will be a far um um game to call. A far cry from calling a game. Because sometimes it, it's surprising because this is probably some of the games that um this season Soursop would have featured in a lot of feature games. Would be one of the teams that in the feature games. All this encounter based on what Soursop had in the past would have be a match of the round or one of the games of the round. This is not the case based on what is happening this season. So Bull Bay is expected to carry this one home.
Okay. All right. Everett sending his prediction. Mechanical, Lynx, Classic, Brayton, Right Stuff, Port, International, Bull Bay, and Foundation. Why, Everett? You're still not betting on Passage Fort. You're not learning that, Everett. Passage Fort going to surprise you guys again, Everett, two matches, 2 weeks straight, Passage Fort, but you're betting on Everett. So you're still not learning. Dana Tibert sending her prediction also. Classic, Lynx, Bull Beer, Right Stuff, Fort, Mechanical, Brayton, Chergarden, and Foundation. Yes. And no one still betting on Passage Fort. I bet Passage Fort surprise them this week again. Yes, Dana Tibert. Yes, my viewers, remember if you predict, the first person to predict the 8 winners for each week will get $1,000 credit of their choice. Digital or Flow. So keep on doing the prediction. Badras, I don't see you trying not to do Badras. All right, big up yourself, though, Badras. Playmaster, Bull Bay versus Soursop.
Well, Bull Bay is the team at the moment right now. You know, a lot of persons think that they are pretenders, but I believe they have quality to challenge for the title, providing that they remove the captaincy from the captain when it matters most. But
Okay. All right. Um, Professor. Village Links versus Mechanical. What is your prediction there?
Um,
All right, hold
definitely,
on a minute. Hold on a minute. All right, go ahead, Professor. Go ahead. Sorry. Go ahead, Professor.
definitely. Looking on this encounter, Mechanical should get a victory here. If not, they can call their top 8 place in out the window. And this is an encounter that, based on the on what happens, both teams, because both teams were in the town league. This match would be a blown out for a Mechanical, or somewhat of a competitive encounter. Mechanical should get this one home. And if not, I believe they can call um their their top 8 position bid goodbye. So Pacific Food, Mechanical should get this one done. Well, even if it's close, they should get this one done. And if they can't, is just so unfortunate. Not able to garner these points, because even before analyzing the games that they are going to play, that they are counting that if they want to be in the top 8 in order to have a chance or a shot at the title, this is one of the games that they are expected to win. And if they can't, it's goodbye sweet prince for them.
Okay. All right, great. I don't know what happened to Playmaster there. He's offline, but he did mention that his phone needs charging. So maybe that's the issue. All right, Donovan Davis. Donovan Davis is asking um who Passage Fort is playing. Passage Fort is playing Classic. Yeah, Caribbean Classic. And Cherry Garden has a bye. Cherry Garden is playing Garvermead. So there will be no games for Cherry Garden this Sunday. Yes. And Bobby Six also sent in his prediction. So he said Links, Mechanical, Bull Bay, Right Stuff, Brayton, Passage Fort, Fort International, and Cherry Garden Foundation. Yes, I think maybe we're going to have a winner here in Everett. Bobby Six. So maybe we're going to have a winner. Although playing for Links though, I will really bet against Classic, you know. You understand? Because I think that team is supposed to be the only team really holding back Links. So I will really bet against Classic. Yeah, so I understand Bobby Six. I will bet against Classic also. All right. Classic. Everett said Classic giving Passage Fort 40. Barry, you hearing? I hope you're hearing the Barry. Classic giving Passage Fort 40. So let's see what will happen on Sunday. All right. Moving right along. Foundation versus Nagahead. Professor. I don't know what happened there. Professor, Foundation versus Nagahead.
Um, this one, based on what is happening in the season, Foundation coming off a quite a competitive encounter, and it's just a bit bad lucky that they have found themselves on the losing end. But it's a great win for the a great encounter for them, sharpen up their skill sets going forward. They are just outside the top 5. They are in 6th position, and they are vying for that top 8 position. And this is one of the games they are expected to, based on the team they have, to win. Nugget will do put up a fight, but Foundation should get this one home. Probably a little bit a competitiveness, but Foundation should get this one done. Nugget will. They are just doing what Nugget do based on the sort of team they have in. That's what the team they have in this season, but don't see them coming out victors as far as I see. But they will just do enough probably to even garner a point. But Foundation definitely want to prove the pundits wrong, and some of the neutrals wrong. So they will go for definitely no taking prisoners going forward, based on what happened in their last encounter. So a Foundation win here over Nugget.
Okay. Yes, I think Foundation is really upset about that last game on Sunday versus Lynx. Yes, I think they're really upset about that game. So they're not taking any prisoners now. So I think like I said, for the upon the A game coming against Foundation this Sunday. All right, moving on to the feature match. Caribbean Classic versus Passage Fort. That's the feature match for this Sunday, Jenka people. So Caribbean Classic versus Passage Fort. And what is your prediction here, Professor? I know you're carrying Passage Fort doing a Professor, but let the viewers know.
In this encounter, Passage Fort don't have a chance. Believe you me. I think I've lost 2 consecutive games carrying the opposite way, but
because
I do
Passage Fort
wanted to carry them on this occasion. Yeah, but I don't see them they coming up
beating a
against
Classic.
beating Classic. One of the things that is going to make a lot of difference, and this is what Classic has over a lot of the teams, or the teams that who are the elite teams usually have one thing: the margin of error is going to be less. And I believe, based on that fact, Passage Fort will make more errors than what Classic will do, and it's good for Passage Fort to coming off 2 consecutive victories and coming up against the mighty Classic. It's just something that no Passage Fort player would want just yet. Probably they won't want to probably come off a series of wins before they face a Classic team. But just when they are getting things right, they just run into a brick wall. And I don't see Classic losing. Believe you me, me not see based on analyzing the teams, unless Classic decides players, but probably the French players against Caribbean Classic, losing their French players against Passage Fort. I just don't see Passage Fort even probably getting a point in this encounter. But based on what they are doing in the last 2 games, they will do have some confidence and probably even have the lead for some time if they decide to show that resilience that they have shown in the last 2 games. But it's just sad that they will have to face a team like Classic in this encounter.
Well, Passage Fort is on a high now, you know. They're on a high now, so they beat 2 teams that a lot of you weren't expecting them to beat. So they're really on a high. So um, they're saying right now that they can beat any team now. So that's what they're saying.
Yes, man.
Right?
Their confidence would be high, and any team, it doesn't matter what sort of sport you're playing. If you're coming off consecutive victories in a competition that you have lost your 3 or 4 games, you'll definitely on a high going forward and believe that. Remember, one of the things that a lot of persons, especially that domino fraternity, do is that they believe teams are in there just to compete. Teams, yeah, compete are no, just to represent, just to be there. They just want to form a team and just come play and then play them 10 and then go outside and enjoy themselves. But definitely, you're in the competition to win it. That's why you enter the competition. And I think Passive Sport is no different. They will want to come and upset Classic, and they will try as much. But the margin of error has to be less. And I'm not just talking about Passive Sport when you're playing Classic. Any team at all. If you're going to beat the top teams, your margin of error has to be less. And that is what teams like Classic do well. They will not make a lot of mistakes. Yeah. And a lot of the other teams are not taking notes or even try to replicate um, what these team does well. For instance, even Classic, and I'm going to stress on this a lot, is that a lot of persons look on other eras of Classic doing well, and Classical links, etc., do well. Is that their level of discipline is so much that people look on other eras to find solace in their ways of analyzing teams. But this is a great example. Even source up to an extent, even before they have a level of discipline, in a sense, that is paramount, and that has helped them in a lot of ways. So these are examples persons have to look at in terms of saying, yeah, they might be monitor, they have incentives that drives them, but there's a level of discipline in terms of, in a lot of ways, and not only in terms of their attitude, in terms of attending meetings, attending games, etc. That is paramount, and this is what a lot of the persons who are involved in the domino fraternity fail to see. So, with by saying that, this is what teams like Passage Fort need to adapt or replicate when they're coming up against these teams. Look what they are doing right and try to emulate these teams. And I think that is one of the things that a lot of teams should do well. And I hate so what up is my team, a team that is close to me because I was there from the initial stages. And one of the things that I'm going to say is that when Soasap was coming into the competition, we deliberately didn't try to get invite persons to play for the team. We did it for a couple of years. We didn't invite. One of the things that we said to ourselves, let's do what we need to do in terms of discipline or otherwise to persons from outside looking in can be a part of this. We must set the example first before we allow persons to come in our team. And worse, if it's a community-based club. So the persons in and around the geographical location of any team should be the examples or persons from outside coming in. I can remember source of the largest aggregation of teams um, um, in terms of signings. There are like about 6 different parishes involved in source of team registers over 100 players in one season. These things are not normal because persons see something in a small team. Just an example, and I can address that with even how Classic operates. They are quite disciplined and they do things very tactically in terms of getting things right, and the person, the hierarchy of the club ensure that the team play according to where they are in the position. So if at this stage, I can tell you Classic is about 50% where they should be. I can tell you that. So the next couple of games, leading just before the quarterfinal, they are about 80. And then they just peak like at 100, just when the time is to win the competition. And I think a lot of persons, our team should take an example from out of that book. So as much as
Okay.
Passage Fort is want to win this game, they will they will have to look at these pointers as I just mentioned, and other teams likewise.
Okay. All right. You heard it. Passage Fort. You heard it from Professor himself. Management, one son, Two-Face, Berry, Kill Bill, Super Blacks. You all heard it from Professor. What the team need to be doing and stuff like that. And also, I can also give you my 2 cents also. If Passage Fort, if you want to beat a side like Classic, Caribbean Classic, you have to beat them in the first half. Yes, because the big guns them not come out in the first half, they normally come out in the second half. And right now you have Champo and Babatunde first half. Champo is really playing excellent right now. But you have to beat Classic from in the first half. And then now in the second half now, when the big guns them run out now, they will be trailing. I have to just keep that momentum. So this is a way to go forward and to beat Classic. Always just try and beat them in the first half. And then now in the second half, now you just take it home.
No,
All right.
I think good observation, Mellache. But let me tell you, as I said before, with a Classic team, even with the players on the fringes, if you're going to beat a Classic team or any one of the teams, that you have to it doesn't matter where you can beat them in any half. The point is that you have to be mentally prepared to face quality players after quality players. That is it. If you watch how Classic can lose a game, is that you have to beat up one player that is quality, and the other one you have to beat. So even if you can take a point or two off of each player coming on your table, that is a vast difference. You don't have to run on the huge score like a 8-2, 9-1. Just try beat each player by 1 or 2. With that mindset, you can win anywhere the competition, whether the early stages, the mid stages, or even the final third. Simple.
Okay. All right. Everett said Classic went to beat Passage Fort by 40. What is the margin of victory here, Professor? For Classic.
Based on the mood that Classic is in, and as I said before, they do their things by stages. And as I tell you before, as we speak, Classic is about 50%. With on Sunday, they will be going back to a 60. So that's the way it is. Simple. So if by that saying, I'm just looking about a 30 points. At least
A 30 point,
Passage Fort is
30
going to
point
lose.
victory.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, my viewers and subscribers, you heard it. And we have come to an end of another Mellache TV Analysis Thursdays. And I hope you guys got some valid tips and points. And also, please do remember to click like on the videos Yes, and remember my cookout tomorrow. Yes, lunch starts at 10. So you can come out early and get your lunch. Tomorrow at my cookout, and I'll be having also a match at 7 p.m. tomorrow. Yes, 7 p.m. tomorrow. Passage Fort and Bombers versus the rest of the world. So please come out and support the movement, support Mellache TV. Yes, and show your appreciation to the Domino channel. Yes, my viewers and subscribers. So that's it for tonight. See you guys next week. And I hope the persons who try to predict the winners, I wish you good luck. All right. Bye. Bye everyone. See you next week.
Yeah, man. Bye.